Welcome back to the deep dive. It is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026, and we are officially on day 55 of the year. If you've been following the timeline, you know we're deep in the weeds of some pretty heavy conceptual work today.
Heavy is definitely the right word, but also surprisingly synchronized. It's one of those days where the stars, or at least the sources, align in a way that's almost spooky.
It really is. I mean, looking at the desk right now, we've got a stack of sources that, on paper, really shouldn't go together at all.
Right, yeah. Total opposite ends of the spectrum.
Exactly. We have 365 days of discipline, which is usually about, grit, grinding, waking up at 4 a.m. to do burpees until you puke.
The hard physical stuff.
Yeah. And then we have the Daily Stoic, which is ancient philosophy, very cerebral, very logical. And then we have the Transurfing reality curriculum, which is, let's be honest, it's a bit more on the metaphysical, sort of quantum mysticism side of things.
Yeah, usually if you put a Stoic and a Transurfer in a room, they're going to argue.
A big time.
One says endure reality, the other says bend reality to your will. They do not usually get along.
But today, specifically for February 24th, day 55, they all seem to have converged on this single massive mission statement. And it's not just about staying calm. It's much more aggressive than that.
It really is. If I had to synthesize everything we're looking at today, from Seneca to the CALM protocol, the overarching theme is sovereignty. Sovereignty over the self.
Which means what, practically speaking?
It's this radical idea that the external world, the traffic, the rude emails, the bank balance, the news, it isn't a fixed thing that happens to you. It's a mirror.
A mirror?
Yeah, most of us are exhaustively trying to shave the reflection in the mirror instead of just shaving our own face.
Which is a fantastic image, but we need to break down how that actually works mechanically, because otherwise it just sounds like a, motivational poster you'd see in a dentist's office.
Be the change you want to see.
Exactly. Great. But how? What are the actual physics of that? So was it to talk about a concept from the Transurfing material that feels completely counterintuitive? The idea that seeking something like chasing a goal, hunting it down, is actually the best way to push it away.
It's the paradox of desire. We're going to look at why stopping the chase is the only way to actually catch the bear. And we'll get into the specific mechanics of why that happens.
So let's start with the calendar anchor. It's day 55 of the 365 days of discipline. Now, usually this source is telling us to eat raw eggs or take an ice bath, but today's entry is purely psychological.
It's a mental ice bath.
Pretty much. It's a quote attributed to Seneca. It goes, "To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden."
Robs misfortune of its strength. That is the variable we need to look at really closely.
It implies that misfortune has a power source, like it's battery operated.
That's a perfect analogy. Think about the physics of that statement. Seneca isn't saying, be tough just to look cool or be a statue. He's talking about energy transfer.
Okay, energy transfer.
Right, so when a trial happens, let's say a deal falls through, or you get a scary health test result, or your car breaks down, that event has a certain amount of kinetic energy. It's a spark.
Okay, it's a spark. It happened. Objective reality.
But a spark isn't a forest fire. A spark can just fizzle out on the pavement. Where does the spark get the fuel to become a fire? Where does the event get the strength to ruin your week or your month or your whole life?
From me. From my reaction to it. From me freaking out, calling 5 people to complain, spiraling, losing sleep over it.
Precisely. Misfortune is a battery, but you are the charger. If you panic, if you go into what the CALM protocol calls collapsing, you are feeding high voltage energy right into that event.
You're charging it up.
You're making it realer, heavier, and way harder to solve. You are literally giving it your power.
Yeah.
But Seneca is saying if you meet it with a calm mind, a sort of non-conductive mind, to keep the electrical metaphor going,
you cut the fuel line.
You cut the fuel line. The problem remains just an event. It doesn't become a catastrophe.
Okay, I want to push back on this slightly because it is much easier said than done. When something goes wrong, like really wrong, the adrenaline hits instantly. It feels biological. It's not like I sit there and decide, I think I'll panic now. My body just does it for me.
You're absolutely right. It is biological. It's your amygdala hijacking the system. And that's exactly why we have the CALM protocol in the stack today. It gives us a diagnostic tool to interrupt that biology.
The checklist.
Yeah, it asks a really simple question. Check composure. Am I posturing or collapsing?
Define those for us, because posturing sounds like, flexing in a mirror.
In this context, posturing is the fight response. It's when you get angry, You try to force a solution, you send that nasty email at 11 p.m., you slam the door, you're trying to dominate the reality.
Okay. And collapsing.
Collapsing is the flight or freeze response. You play the victim, you pour a drink, you say, why does this always happen to me? You hide under the covers.
I've definitely done both, sometimes within 10 minutes of each other. First I yell at the car, then I hide on the couch.
We all have. It's the human ping pong match. But the protocol points out that both posturing and collapsing leak power. They both give your sovereignty away to the event. You are reacting to it, which means it is controlling you.
So what's the alternative then?
Composure. Composure is the third option. It's the goal. It's centering the pendulum.
Centering the pendulum.
Right. You aren't fighting the reality, and you aren't submitting to it either. You're just observing it. You're looking at the car that just broke down and saying, okay, the car is broken. That is a fact. Now, what is the next step?
It's clinical.
It's surgical. And that observation robs the misfortune of its weight because you aren't adding your own emotional baggage to it.
Which pairs perfectly with the Stoic reading for today. Since it's February 24th, we're looking at the entry in the Daily Stoic for this specific date. And Epictetus takes this energy conservation idea and makes it even more personal.
This is one of my favorite Epictetus concepts of all time. He says, the real source of harm, it isn't the one who has it in for you, but rather the harm comes from your own belief.
Okay, let's unpack this because this is the one that always trips people up. If a competitor spreads lies about my business or someone insults me to my face, that feels like objective harm. That actually happened. Is Epictetus saying I'm just imagining it?
He's making a really rigorous distinction between the event and the injury. The insult, the sound waves vibrating in the air, the words typed on the screen, that is objective reality. Physics says it happened.
Right.
But the harm, the feeling of being diminished, the bruised ego, the shame, the anger, that is a package you choose to open.
So insult is the delivery mechanism, but I'm the one signing for the package.
Yes, and if you don't sign for it, there's no bomb inside. It just sits on the porch.
It reminds me of that transurfing metaphor we have in the source material today, the mirror of reality. This is really the core visual for this whole deep dive.
It is. If you get nothing else from today, get this image. Imagine you're standing in front of a giant mirror. That mirror is the world around you. Your job, your relationships, your bank account, it's all just the reflection. Now, if you stand there and scream at the mirror because you don't like what you see, what does the reflection do?
Well, it screams back.
Right. It has no choice. It's a mirror. And can you reach into the glass and physically force the reflection's mouth into a smile while you are still screaming?
Obviously not. You'd just be smudging the glass.
But that is what posturing is. That is what we do every single day. We try to force the world to be different while we are still internalizing stress and anger and lack. We're screaming change, and the mirror is just reflecting a screaming person. You have to change the input, your internal state, your belief, before the output can change.
So Epictetus saying harm comes from your belief is basically saying stop making the I am harmed face at the mirror.
Exactly. If you believe you're a victim, the mirror faithfully reflects a reality where you're victimized. If you maintain composure, if you refuse to accept the harm, the mirror has nothing to reflect but your own strength.
Okay, so that's the defensive side. That's how we stop bad things from spiraling on day 55. But the Transurfing curriculum for today, day 15 of that specific 78-day cycle, it pivots to offense. It's not just about not getting hurt, it's about getting what you want.
Right. This is where we shift gears entirely, and the principle for today is just 4 words. I am my goal.
This is the part that I think tricks people up the most. It sounds a lot like fake it till you make it, which I've always had a problem with because it feels fraudulent.
It's nuanced. It's really not about fraud. This principle is pushing back against the concept of seeking.
But we're trained to seek. We seek success, we seek love, validation. That's the hustle, isn't it?
And Transurfing argues that the energy of seeking actually creates what they call excess potential. Think about it. The act of wanting something implies that you don't have it.
Okay, I follow. If I say I really, really want to be rich, I am implicitly affirming I am currently not rich.
Exactly. You are radiating a frequency of lack. If you are desperate for a client or desperate for a partner, you're projecting need. And the mirror, being a faithful reflector, reflects need back at you. You get more situations that make you feel needy. You get more rejection.
We see this in sales all the time. The business logs in our source pile mention the landman pitch. It's that energy when a salesperson is just desperate for the commission. You can smell it on them.
And it repels you, right?
Instantly, I want to run away. It makes me viscerally uncomfortable.
That's the mirror working in real time. That seeking energy pushes the goal away. The I am, my goal principle says, don't chase success, become it. You have to radiate the energy of someone who already has the thing, so the mirror has to reflect that reality back.
But how do you actually do that without being delusional? If I'm broke, I can't just walk around pretending I'm a millionaire. My debit card will still get declined at the coffee shop.
It's not about delusion regarding the facts. It's about the identity. The schedule for today mentions a task, update bio, wear the title comfortably. It links to the alter ego effect.
Oh, right. The story about the kid on the basketball court. Let's talk about that one, because it really grounds this concept.
So there's this young basketball player, extremely talented, physically gifted, but totally inconsistent. He was always in his head, worrying about missing shots, looking at the coach for approval. He was seeking permission to be great.
He was screaming, "Validate me," at the mirror.
Exactly. And the mirror gave him anxiety. Then he used this technique to create an alter ego. He called it the Black Ghost.
Which sounds like a comic book villain, but go on.
It worked because the Black Ghost had a completely different set of traits. The Black Ghost didn't care about missing a shot. The Black Ghost was emotionless, relentless, cold. When the kid stepped onto the court, he mentally stepped into that identity. He wasn't hoping to be good anymore. He was the force of nature.
So he didn't wait until he started winning to feel like a winner.
Correct. That's the key. He adopted the identity first. The source material mentions future Greg as well, this idea of embodying the version of yourself who has already won. You have to wear the title before the world gives you the trophy.
There's a line in the Transurfing material, I think it's from day 66, but it reinforces this whole idea. It says, "You don't need external props. The moment you stop leaning on others, you find your inner strength."
That is the essence of sovereignty right there. When you stop leaning on the world to validate you, saying, please tell me I'm good enough, and you start validating yourself, I am the Black Ghost, the world shifts. You stop wiping the glass trying to fix the reflection, and you just fix your face.
Okay, I am with you on the theory. I love the theory. But here's the million-dollar question, and I know you listening are asking this right now. Let's say I do this. I wake up today, day 55. I put on the Black Ghost identity. I maintain composure. I smile at the mirror. Why isn't the money in my bank account by lunch?
And that is exactly where most people quit.
Because it feels like it's not working. I'm smiling, and the mirror is still showing me a broke guy.
The Transurfing material has a very specific technical explanation for this. It's called the delay in the mirror.
The delay.
Think about a regular bathroom mirror. The reflection is instant because light travels at the speed of light. It's instantaneous. But the mirror of reality, the physical world of matter, people, contracts, money, it's heavy. It's dense.
It's not light, it's matter.
Right. It's like molasses.
Yeah.
Or tar.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time for the material world to rearrange itself to match your new internal state. The source explicitly mentions a daily journal entry where a subject tried these techniques and felt they stumbled right out of the blocks or got disappointing results immediately.
That's the danger zone. You look at the mirror, you see the old reality, the empty bank account, the silence from the client, and you go, see? This stuff is nonsense. I'm still broke.
And the moment you frown and say, I'm still broke, the mirror captures that frown and begins reflecting that back to you. You verify the lack, so the mirror reinforces the lack. You get locked in a feedback loop.
So the delay is a trap. It's a test of faith.
It's the ultimate test. The challenge of day 55 isn't just to smile. It's to hold the smile during the delay. You have to be brave enough to smile at a mirror that is still showing you a frown, knowing that the reflection is just lagging behind. It's like sending a print command to a really slow printer. You don't keep smashing the print key, you wait for it to process.
We have a tactical piece of advice here from the 48 Laws of Power source that fits this perfectly. It's the image of the honeyed bear trap.
Yes. The bear hunter does not chase his prey. He lays traps baited with honey.
Which goes right back to the chasing thing. If you chase the bear, you exhaust yourself, you make noise, and the bear runs away.
In this context, composure and identity are the honey. By not reacting frantically to misfortune, that's the Seneca part, and by embodying the goal, that's the Transurfing part, you stop chasing reality. You sit still, you hold your ground, and you let reality come to you.
You're creating a vacuum that success has to fill.
Precisely. But waiting is hard. Waiting creates anxiety. We're human, we hate waiting.
Which brings us back to practical application. We've got the theory, composure, identity, handle the delay. But what do I actually do when the anxiety hits? When I'm waiting for that delay to catch up and I start feeling that tightness in my chest?
That's when we open the CLM protocol again. There's a specific technique in there called a sigh of relief.
I like the sound of that. Is it just breathing?
It starts with breathing,
Mm.
but it's a three-step mental reset designed to break that excess potential, that buildup of anxiety that jams the mirror.
Step one.
Lower importance. You have to admit that the outcome doesn't define you. You look at the deal or the date or the project and you say, even if this fails, I am still me. The sun will still rise tomorrow.
That feels risky to some people, though. Doesn't that make me passive? Doesn't it mean I just don't care?
No, it makes you lose. Athletes play better when they aren't terrified of losing. You have to take the life or death weight off the event so you can actually perform. If you're gripping the bat too tight, you literally can't swing.
Okay, that loosens the grip. What's step two?
Action. You need to do one small physical thing to burn the anxiety.
Burn the anxiety.
Anxiety is trapped energy. It's adrenaline with nowhere to go. If you just sit there and think, I am the black ghost, but your hands are shaking with nerves, the mirror picks up the nerves. You need to move.
Give me an example.
Well, the protocol suggests a morning anchor question. What is the one thing I can do right now to create momentum?
It doesn't have to be finishing the whole project.
No, it can be write one email, do 10 push-ups, clean the kitchen counter. Just something to prove to your brain that you are an agent of action, not a victim of circumstance.
Add step three.
The question itself loops back to momentum. You ask yourself, what is the smallest task that moves the ball forward? It shifts your brain from worrying about the future, which creates the anxiety, to executing in the present.
It breaks the loop.
It centers the pendulum. It stops you from fighting the mirror and allows you to start painting a new reflection.
This is all surprisingly cohesive for a stack of books that spans 2,000 years.
The truth usually is.
So let's synthesize this for everyone listening. We are on day 55. We've got a lot of moving parts here today.
Right. Let's stack them up.
First, Seneca teaches us defense. The world can't hurt us if we keep our composure. We rob misfortune of its battery power. We refuse to charge the battery.
Yes. We check if we are posturing or collapsing, and we choose composure instead. We stay neutral.
Second, transurfing teaches us offense. We are our goal. We don't chase, we don't beg, we embody. We shift our identity to the black ghost or future Greg right now, today. We stop giving the landman pitch to the universe.
Correct. We radiate having instead of wanting.
And third, and this is really the glue holding it all together, we respect the delay. When reality doesn't change instantly, we don't panic. We recognize the delay in the mirror. We hold the pose, we put out the honey, and we wait for the bear.
And we use the sigh of relief to manage the anxiety while we wait, so we don't accidentally wipe the smile off our faces.
It changes the whole game. You're not trying to change the reflection by wiping the glass.
No, you're changing the face. You're
Yeah.
showing it.
That is the takeaway. Stop wiping the glass. Change your face.
And have the patience, the discipline of day 55, to wait for the reflection to catch up.
I want to leave you with a thought to mull over today, something that really struck me looking at this timeline. If reality is just a mirror with a time delay, think about the last 30 days of your life.
The last month.
What face have you been making at the mirror for the last 30 days? Have you been frowning? Have you been screaming? Have you been begging? Because that is what's coming down the pipeline towards you right now. It's in the mail.
It's already been shipped.
But the good news is you can change the face you're making right now. The shipment leaving the warehouse today depends on your composure today. Are you brave enough to hold a smile, even if the reflection hasn't changed yet? That's the challenge for day 55.
It's the only challenge that matters.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you tomorrow.